Now, when we often hear about the iPhone 15 Pro Max, we often hear about the extremes: overheating, best phone ever, etc. But as someone who has used the iPhone 15 Pro Max to its full capacity on a daily basis, I'm here to tell you guys that it's a painfully average experience.
Money coming, money go. I've been at it on the low. Trapping out of where I live.
Now, I think it's pretty funny how people always want to hear about the extremes when it comes to the reviews of a phone. See, whenever a phone is more expensive or is considered a quote-unquote top-of-the-line product, either it's the worst product that's not worth the money, and you shouldn't even be near it with a 10-foot pole, or it's the greatest product known to mankind, and only the greatest people on earth get to touch it. But in reality, that's almost never the case. See, when I say that the iPhone 15 Pro Max offers a painfully average experience, I'm not really saying this is a bad thing at all. Average in most cases means not too extreme on either spectrum, and it's very identical to every top tier iPhone that we've gotten over the past 5 years. Of course, the technology is upgraded, but as far as experience, it's not going to give you that tech boner that you're looking for. See, over the past 10 years, technology has improved so much to the point where there's not too much left to really improve the regular slab smartphone, which is why so many smartphones go through extremely small improvements year after year. And in my opinion, the iPhone is the perfect example of this. If the iPhone 14 has a bad battery, Apple will usually fix it and add 1 or 2 new features, and it's slightly better than last year. That's kind of how improvements within tech work now. So instead of me telling you guys that the iPhone 15 Pro Max is the greatest iPhone to ever live, and it doesn't get much better than this, the more realistic and honest approach would be for me to tell you guys that the iPhone 15 Pro Max is a good iPhone that has fixed almost all of its errors from its predecessor, which is the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The iPhone 14 Pro Max had and still has struggled at running software smoothly on a consistent basis, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max has fixed this problem and is able to run the latest iOS software extremely smooth. The 14 Pro Max was supposed to have USB-C, but it instead is still using the very outdated Lightning cable. And the 15 Pro Max again made the small improvement by adding USB-C. The 14 Pro Max still had the stainless steel sides that are extremely prone to fingerprints, and the 15 Pro Max now has a titanium frame that is less prone to them. There are still some problems that Apple hasn't fixed on its latest model that have been lingering on the past few generations of iPhone, and let me name a few. Now, if this is your first time watching a video of mine and you didn't know, I would say over 80% of the videos on my channel are shot with an iPhone. Many unboxings, reviews, and day-in-the-life videos are in the hands of the iPhone because I believe that it has the best smartphone camera by far. And while the process throughout the years has been incredibly smooth, there's this one little problem that Apple hasn't fixed and I've been dealing with since the iPhone 13 Pro Max. See, whenever I'm shooting the sides of a phone or doing a close-up, it'll automatically switch over to the telephoto camera and it looks horrible. As you guys can see right here, the quality looks extremely grainy and takes a dip. And it gets worse on videos since the telephoto camera provides zero stabilization. So even if I'm standing still or doing the slightest pan, it will always be extremely shaky. Even taking everyday videos of something can be a problem since the quality often doesn't even look like it's coming from a new phone. Apple has helped by adding a button to where you can get rid of it, but when you do this, the autofocus becomes horrible and can't focus, so you'll basically have to activate that feature again if you want to capture the subject clearly. Another problem that I've encountered has to do with the 15 Pro Max's latest edition, which is the action button. Now, the action button is a really cool idea, but I've always felt like Apple failed at maximizing its potential. And what I mean by this is that the action button only serves one purpose, when in reality, it should serve multiple. Whenever you set up what you want to use your action button for, it usually only lets you do one thing with it when it should be two. So instead of me only being able to use it as a mute button or flashlight button, I think that the mute button within it should be standard, and it should also have the option to add a double press feature. So if I hold my action button, it will mute or unmute my notifications, and if I double tap it, it should pull up whatever I programmed it to do, like flashlight, recorder, etc. And I think that this is a very fun way to where they could truly maximize the action button, and I truly believe that they could push it even further by adding a triple press option to make you do much more. And the final problem encountered when it comes to the iPhone is its lack of features. Apple has a lot of good qualities that makes it my personal favorite over a lot of other phones, but one of the many reasons as to why I often switch back to my Galaxy S24 Ultra is because it offers many more features that adds to the premium experience. Apple still has yet to add a ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, support for faster charging, better ultra zoom capabilities, and it's extremely limited in AI features when compared to the Galaxy and Pixel. And I believe that this is the main reason as to why this iPhone feels the exact same as the past 5. Apple really hasn't done much to add quality features, and the things that I'm asking for aren't really that much to begin with. These are things that other companies have been using for damn near 6 years now, which kind of shows you how behind Apple is. But other than the dislikes I've listed, again, the 15 Pro Max will give you a great yet average experience. And if you want a top tier iPhone that does everything that the 12, 13, and 14 Pro Max does but a little bit better, this is the perfect option for you. Now, one of the most beautiful aspects of the iPhone has always been its display, and the 15 Pro Max doesn't disappoint. Its 6.7-inch size, complemented with Super Retina XDR, was not only able to add to its vibrancy and contrast, but it was also big enough to where you can see everything very clearly. Vibrance and size wasn't the only thing that it had going for it. If you are someone who was always in a bright setting, or you just like your phone to always have high brightness, the 15 Pro Max has 2000 nits worth of peak brightness, so you should have no trouble seeing anything even on a sunny day. The 120Hz refresh rate mixed in with that Apple signature style results in a very smooth scrolling experience. Apple's style with anything has always been able to make the experience as smooth and seamless as possible, so scrolling and responsiveness represented this very well. Now, despite my disappointment that the 15 Pro Max doesn't have an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, as always, Face ID was extremely fast and accurate. It worked well during the day, and even when my head was turned at an angle. Resolution was good. Not as great on paper as the Galaxy S24 Ultra or Pixel 8 Pro, since those phones are closer to 1440p, but it was close enough. Here's a side-by-side comparison with the Pixel 8 Pro, and even though the resolution is lower, it still looks very identical. Now, the 15 Pro Max's battery is very subjective. I've seen people who've had a lot of problems with it, but in my experience, the percentage that I'm getting at the end of each day, mixed in with my on-screen time, is what I would consider above average. Not as great as the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but also not as bad as the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I've had my 15 Pro Max for 8 months now, and my battery capacity is still at 100%, which is really good. My cycle count is at 80, and I usually charge my phone once a day, either at night right before I go to sleep or in the morning when I forget to charge it at night. I don't do anything to extend the battery. My average active on-screen time is 6 to 7 hours, which is pretty heavy usage, and I mainly use my phone for social media, YouTube videos, filming, and other social things like messaging and FaceTime. The only problem that I've had with the battery is that its max speed is 0 to 100 in 2 hours, compared to the Galaxy S24 Ultra's top speed of 0 to 100 in 1 hour and 5 minutes. But besides that, the battery is pretty good. Most of the time, you'll only need one charge and you should be good to go. Now, something that ties into the 15 Pro Max's battery is its performance, and the A17 Pro chip is arguably the most powerful in the smartphone market. I was able to test out some pretty powerful games on my 15 Pro Max. Games like Genshin Impact, Call of Duty Mobile, and Asphalt 9 are among my favorites. I usually play on the highest settings, and with the 15 Pro Max, I didn't get any hiccups or lags. The frame rate stayed very consistent, and it didn't take up too much battery. Whenever I play games, I usually set my phone down or put it on a stand so I can't feel it overheating. But this time I decided to play while holding it in my hands, and it didn't get too hot, but it did heat up a bit, which is pretty normal. Again, I'm not going to lie and say that it's overheating to fit a narrative like other critics. I can only tell the truth to my experience, and this is my honest experience. As far as aesthetics and build quality, you still get that Apple Pro feel, rounded corners, boxy frame, and a nice heavy weight that adds to its quality. And for some reason, Apple keeps making the camera bigger every year, and there are some other notable improvements. Again, we have USB-C, which is extremely helpful since I now can use one cable for all my devices. And there is a titanium frame that not only adds more durability to the body, but it's also on the sides, which continues that consistent feel, and it's less prone to fingerprints. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. The iPhone 15 Pro Max takes amazing pictures, but it's not that much different from anything that we've seen the past few years, which isn't really bad since the iPhone has had the best and most realistic camera in the smartphone market. Going down the list of highlights within the camera, the selfies are easily some of my favorite, the sharpness is just right, my skin tone is accurate, the depth of blur is high quality, and the consistency is very impressive. Videos, in my opinion, were the strongest high point of the camera. Whether I'm inside or outside the house, it's always able to give me some really good videos. And my favorite reason as to why I choose to shoot videos on my iPhone 15 Pro Max is because of how well it does when it comes to lighting. Whether it's lower lighting or great lighting, the iPhone has always been able to give me the best visuals and adjust it to the point where I'm able to shoot a video anywhere. It's very reliable, and I can count on it to make the shot look good. Everyday photos are my favorite as well. And it basically continues all the strong points of the selfie camera, but to a higher degree. It's a little bit sharper, the colors are a little bit more vibrant, and the camera software enhances this to the max. Even inside photos were really good. There were a few times where it had some yellow tint, but it's not as common as it was in older iPhones, but it still does need to get fixed. And those are my final thoughts on the iPhone 15 Pro Max after 8 months of use. It's a very solid top tier iPhone that will give you a similar experience as any other top tier iPhone, and there's not really much else I can say. And to address the title of this video, I will not completely be switching over from my Galaxy S24 Ultra. I decided to use my 15 Pro Max to mainly shoot videos, but other than that, I'm still rocking with my Galaxy S24 Ultra because at the moment, I feel like it's a better phone. And if you guys want to know why I prefer the Galaxy S24 Ultra, make sure you click on this video and find out now. Peace.
I only hit you when I want some. Fucked up till you realize all I wanted was you. Ay, you only hit me when you fucked up. Love drunk cause you realize all I wanted was you. I be like, baby, don't do that. You press my buttons, you know better. Depending on where my mood at. What's so fucked up, I just might let her. We done weather, plenty weather. It's whatever with me though. Cause I know somebody gon' love me and won't never let me go.
Oh, hey guys. Thank you for 50K subscribers. We're only halfway towards the goal of 100K by the end of the year. And don't worry, I got a giveaway coming soon, so stay tuned.